Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, then please allow for me to introduce myself to you. My name is Vanessa Somuayina and I'm the author of various tarot and oracle decks and your big sis / unicorn mom from the internet. So if you're watching this video, you're clearly interested in receiving a prediction which is based on your Egyptian zodiac sign. And if you're not aware of what your Egyptian zodiac sign is, don't panic. All you need is your date of birth, and then you can see what Egyptian zodiac sign that your date of birth falls onto. And what makes this video so special is that simultaneously to publishing this reading, I have also published a video where I explain each Egyptian zodiac sign in great detail, so you can figure out what your Egyptian zodiac sign says about you, what it means for your future, and how you can make the most of your natural gifts that come under your Egyptian zodiac sign. So that video is linked below in the description box. Make sure that you check it out in order to learn more about your Egyptian zodiac sign. Because in this video, we are going to be predicting your future based on your Egyptian zodiac sign. I will also just add a little slide right here where you can compare your date of birth to the different Egyptian zodiac signs so you can receive your reading immediately without having to watch the other video, even though I do recommend that you watch that just for more insight on what your sign truly means and what it says about you. So yeah, you guys, this video is very simple and to the point. All you need to do is click your Egyptian zodiac signs timestamp, which is linked below and also posted to the top of the comment section. And then you'll be fast forwarded to the relevant portion of this video where you will receive a personal reading, which is based on your Egyptian sign. And furthermore, if you'd like to join me in a bit of a more personal space, check out my Patreon below in the description box. I upload exclusive videos to my Patreon multiple times a month where I share psychic predictions as well as videos which help you to build a career around spirituality and tarot. And this is all in a very small group and audience, so you guys can ask me lots of questions that I otherwise wouldn't get to answer here on YouTube. And if you already feel comfortable in this healing, sweet space of the internet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to never miss another one of these informative videos, because I have a lot of big things planned for the channel, you guys, because my main purpose and my path in life is to provide you with value, support, and to help as many of you as I possibly can. But enough talking, let's get into your Egyptian zodiac signs predictions. So I will be starting off the readings and predictions with the sign of Nile. So if your date of birth falls onto this Egyptian zodiac sign, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful signs, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian sign of Nile. So Nile is the first sign of the Egyptian zodiac, and unlike all of the other Egyptian zodiac signs which are based on Egyptian gods or deities, however you'd like to put it, Nile is actually a sign which is named after the river Nile in Egypt, which was an important life source really for Egyptians, especially a very long time ago. Without the Nile, there would be no life, no survival. So people who are born under the dates of Nile are said to be very wise and practical, and the type of people who hold entire families and states together. So it could be that you're someone who works for the state, or you're someone who is a teacher of some sort, so the future kind of depends on you. The same goes for your standpoint within your family. Maybe you're the fixer, you're the glue that holds everything together, and therefore your Egyptian zodiac sign may really resonate with you. But let's get into your reading. I've got my viewfinder right here in case I look over, you know. but we'll just hang and chill like two old squirrel friends. So first up, we had two cards that actually stuck together, but we've got Life Restored as well as Lady of the Stars. So I want to start off with Life Restored because that was the original card that we were meant to receive. So we've got this beautiful scarab beetle right here, or oh no, I think this is actually a rhino. No, I think it's a scarab beetle. A rhino beetle would have that beautiful rhino horn. But I want you to know here within Life Restored that there is this kind of air to you where you are constantly restoring everyone else. You're constantly putting everything else together. And now the question for you, my beautiful Nile babies, is what are you doing to restore yourself? What are you doing to take care of you? Are you taking daily walks? Are you drinking enough? If you're feeling dehydrated right now, pause the video, take a little sip of water. You maybe don't even need to pause the video. You can just keep listening and take a little bit of care of yourself, because when it comes to living under the sign of Nile, you are a giver, you are a provider, just like the river Nile provided for an entire country, for an entire culture, basically. You too are, in a smaller sense and smaller scale, a big giver. So it's important that you don't allow for yourself to get drained and dried out, if you will, that you don't end up in a drought. So just like the Nile, just like an actual river, remind yourself that you actually need to stay moist. You need to stay hydrated in order to be of value and in order to be able to thrive and be yourself. And the Lady of the Stars know here that we've got the Priestess of Sirius, which is representative of someone who has very strong willpower, a very strong personality, and a strong sense of integrity. So for all of you who correspond to the Egyptian sign of Nile, I want you to know that your fierce personality is what gives you this competitive edge over other people, and to lean into that rather than allow people to shame you for that. Because maybe even already growing up, especially if you identify as female, people may have said you're boyish, you're rough, you're a bit of a tomboy, a little bit too kind of outspoken. But I want you to know that now it's the time to unlearn that, to unlearn all of these beliefs that people have planted on you, whether it was teachers, parents, neighbors. Just know here that just because at their time, maybe females or just kids in general were meant to just be seen but not heard, doesn't mean that the fact that you are outspoken and you have this leadership energy, that should be dimmed. Because often we dim people's energy, because if you look at some of the greatest leaders and philanthropists and artists, creatives of this world, they were brought to a point at least once in their life, if not over and over again, where people tried to dim their light. People tried to bring them down, but they did not allow that to happen. And this is a message that you're receiving from your deities. This is a message that you're receiving from your God, from your universe, whatever it is that you resonate with. Next up, we've got the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords, or as we've got here in the Dark Heart Tarot deck, the Ten of Blades, this is a time for rest, finally. I want you to know that, as we already spoke about here within the Life Restored card, it is now a time for you to rest, to take time away from the world, and to just give yourself time to chill, okay? You have done a lot, and especially mentally, you're someone who works on a very high pace. You may come from a background where education was very important and very much valued, but when you're studying a lot, learning a lot, and you're put under a lot of mental pressure to achieve things and accomplish things, especially professionally, you need certain points in time where you can rest and balance yourself out. You need times of doing nothing, of sleeping the whole day, of napping without somebody nap shaming you. All of my beautiful Nile babies, if you have a nap shamer in your family, or you're even dating a nap shamer or married to one, Tell them to read the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Trust that that book is life-changing and that anyone who used to be a nap shamer is going to be real quiet from the moment on that they read that book. So next up, we've got the Nine of Blades. Now, in order to get very restful sleep, you have to make sure that your routines are on point. Turn off all electronic devices early on in the night. Try to stay away from any harsh lights and remind yourself of the fact that even you don't need to be reachable 24/7. In this day and age, and with smartphones and the internet, sometimes we can feel like we're being rude if people can't reach us all the time, but that is really taking away from us living in the moment, because even when you're just trying to enjoy life, work is just one click away, and sometimes we really need to create some distance and space for ourselves. Next, we've got the Emperor for you. Now, the Emperor in the tarot is a card of leadership, of planning ahead, and of strength, like you can see here in the Emperor. We already spoke about how you are most likely kind of a leader, the type of person that shapes the future, at least to a certain extent. It may be to a larger extent or on a smaller scale right now. And here within the Emperor, I definitely want you to understand that planning ahead is your strength. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is one thing that definitely rings true for all of my Nile babies. You thrive when, yes, things are a little chaotic, but you know where you're going. It doesn't matter what's happening around you. You can thrive as long as you've made your plan, even if everything isn't going 100% the way it should on the outside. So think of, for example, a photo shoot where everything is running wild, the props are all over the place, people are scrambling to get the look right, the lighting, the hair, everything like that. But you've got a vision and you know what you want things to look like in the end when it comes to these creative projects, and you know that you won't stop until you get there. No matter how much everyone around you is scrambling, you know that all you need is the belief that you'll get there and the determination to put in the work to make everything just right and just perfect, so it ends up looking and performing precisely how you would like it to. So my gorgeous Nile babies, this is the first part to your reading that I've received for you. You don't need to do anything right now, just hold tight and I'll move even more deeply into your predictions. So I'll speak to you a little more in just a moment. Welcome back, all my beautiful Nile babies. Let's move even further into your prediction, shall we, and see what else that your Egyptian guides have to say for you. Now, in the Two of Earth, it is all about finding balance between your work as well as your personal life. It's all about you figuring out precisely how to be as effective and productive as you possibly can be. So organization is key here, and making sure that you do develop plans, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That saying really does resonate and actually is very true. Another thing that I'm getting here within these eggs that you've got is to not put all of your eggs in one basket, and also know here within the floating egg that there are probably more opportunities than you're aware of in order to create more work-life balance. For example, if you've always wanted to learn more about a certain topic, don't worry, we'll get into these cards that flipped over in just a second. Let's just round up here with the Two of Earth. If you've always wanted to learn something more about self-care, about health, about diet, whatever the topic is, it could also be the environment or a specific country. Listen to podcasts on your way to work. Listen to different series and shows if you want to learn more, but you feel like you don't have that much time to read or really sit down and learn that certain topic, if you will. Try to just embed different ways in which you can make the most of your time, rather than just listening to music while working out or driving somewhere. You might as well be effective and listen to something that has been on your to-do list. Next up, we've got the Nine of Earth as well as the Three of Air. Now, I can see here within the Nine of Earth and the Three of air connected, that there's a lot of knowledge that is being brought to you. The Nine of Earth shows a lot of giving, a lot of you being able to receive. So the earth and your environment giving to you in the form of being able to have abundance in the earthly realms, but also good health. So you're being given the opportunity to be healthy, to be stable, and you're being called to use this time, this stability, this energy, and this good health in order to further your knowledge and your education, in order to become more of who you've always wanted to be, more of an expert in your field. So try to remind yourself that this is the best time for you to learn, for you to grow, for you to become better at your craft, and try not to lose any of that time. And when I'm feeling kind of unproductive or like procrastinating, I think back to a time where I have maybe been very sick, ill with a cold, a flu, something like that. And I remind myself that in that moment, I wish that I was healthy so I could get a lot of things done, and how to not take good times for granted. Next up, we've got the One of Fire, the Ace of Fire. And the ace is always symbolic of a new beginning. So when you just find the right mindset for you to use and utilize in order to become the best version of yourself and be as productive and effective as you can be, that is when you will find that you are on fire, and all of a sudden sky is the limit. It seems like everything is possible. I see here within the mother that when it comes to your ability and willingness to take care of others, you are like the mom of the friend group. You are definitely that person who always has amazing advice for everyone around them. But in the mother, we also have this maternal energy surrounding you, which may even be symbolic of you being ready to become a parent. And that doesn't mean that you have to act on it. Just know here within the mother that it is symbolic of the fact that you are more ready than you think you are, and that if you wanted to, you could handle it just fine. Next up within the Fool, and know here, my beautiful Nile babies, that this too is symbolic of a new beginning within your life and a fresh start where you listen to your intuition and your gut feeling, because that is what your trusty canine companion is representative of. Dogs represent your natural instinct, and as you can see here in the Fool, you are gladly, happily, and almost a little bit naively following wherever your heart takes you and wherever you feel drawn towards. Furthermore, you're also holding this rose, which definitely shows that you're not afraid to be giving and also jump towards love. Now, in the star, know that you are truly a star, my beautiful Nile babies. And aside from that, this card represents hope. It represents seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, being in a space where you can truly see the future before your eyes, and for the first time, you truly love what you're seeing. You're excited. The cardinal is an animal which is representative of the polarities of your spiritual pursuits and the physical pleasures that are either in or out of balance. So it is important for you to do whatever is necessary to bring things back to equilibrium. Okay, so for one of your spiritual pursuits, and then of course also your physical pleasures, making sure that those are in a balance that you feel works for you and that you can stand behind and feel proud of. Now, the unicorn, as you know, you are part of the unicorn family here on my channel, but what the unicorn also stands for is indulging in your creative, imaginative, and magical side through some form of artistic expression, all my gorgeous Nile babies. So it is time for you to be more artsy, to do more things that are artistic, that make your heart beat faster. Next, in the condor, know that your guides and your Egyptian gods are telling you that you're getting a little too enmeshed in situations and things that are not your business or your problem. Step back, see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action, because remind yourself that often fights are not yours to battle in, and that if you lay with dogs, you get fleas. Obviously, I love dogs, as you all know, but it's just a saying that allows you to truly understand what this means, that if you kind of enmesh yourself with people who have very heavy, argumentative, or negative energies, chances are it will kind of transfer onto you and affect you as well. So keep your spirit safe and remind yourself that not every battle or issue is yours to fight or solve. So my beautiful Nile babies, this is the entire reading that I've received for you. If you've loved this, you've enjoyed being in this space, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. If you're interested in my self-published tarot and oracle decks, they're all linked below in the description box, and I've used them throughout your prediction. So once again, I'm sending you so much love, so many hugs, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Amun-Ra babies of the Egyptian Zodiac. So let's get straight into your reading. I've got my cards laid out right before me, and my viewfinder is over here in case you see me looking over. I just want to make sure everything is in focus for you. So Amun-Ra is a highly powerful sign of the Egyptian Zodiac who often ends up becoming famous, immensely wealthy, and having a lot of power within society. So let's see how that reflects in your prediction. First up, we've got the High Priestess. Now in the High Priestess, know that you are being looked up to by a lot of people close to you, especially those who you went to school with or worked with at an earlier stage. They look at you as someone who kind of knows what's up and who has a lot of potential to become a superstar, to become this magnet for success and create a life that is extraordinary. So to everyone else, it is very clear that Amun-Ra has a special energetic frequency and special energetic aura. But Amun-Ra, do you know that about yourself? Now that's what I'd really like to know. But next up, we've got the Divine Sun Child. The Divine Sun Child shows blessings of the Sun Falcon. Now what this means is that you are overall a pretty favored person, a pretty favored sign of the Egyptian Zodiac. You are meant to lead a life that is pretty happy and effortless compared to a lot of other signs of the Zodiac. You've got a lot of things to be grateful for, and you are protected by your ancestors and the deities that are around you. I want you to know here within the Divine Sun Child that we again have this air of fiery passion and confidence that surrounds you, and it's definitely something that can intimidate some people. So watch out for meetings and situations in which you are being called to speak and present, as a lot of people may feel a little uncomfortable if they need to present and speak in the same segment as you do, and they may try to avoid that because it will be very evident right before or after you have spoken who has more charisma, who has a stronger personality, and who is more knowledgeable. And shocker, it will be you, Amun-Ra. Next up, we've got the Emperor. Now this card is truly resonant with you as an Egyptian zodiac sign. The Emperor is a symbol of leadership. It's symbolic of planning ahead, of making sure that you avoid failing to plan, because that means that you are planning to fail. And a lot of people looking up to you and looking at you as someone who is filled with strength, who gives other people hope, and who allows for others to see that you can really start from the bottom and then end up at the top. Next up, we've got the Three of Blades. Now I want you to know, as Amun-Ra, when things happen in your relationships, they do hit you harder than the other signs, and I hope that you can appreciate my honesty, me being very blunt and straightforward with you. The Three of Blades shows that you work hard and you love extremely hard. So once you fall hard, which means that if you break up, get a divorce, or for some reason are not together with that partner that you were with, it is definitely something that you struggle to get over. While you've got all these strong leadership qualities going for you, you're not a robot, you're not a heartless emperor, you're the type of person who feels very deeply and who gets very emotionally attached to whomever that they end up spending time with or their entire life with. Now that's where I see in the Page of Blades that this is an area of your life in which you are learning constantly. When it comes to your career and your professional life, all my babies of Amun-Ra, I'm not worried about you, and neither are your deities. I want you to know that where you have a little bit of room for improvement when it comes to stabilizing yourself internally, that is relationships, situationships, not allowing for other people to affect you too much, and ensuring that you remind yourself of the emperor and leader that you are. It's great to take other people's opinions into consideration. However, remember to never undervalue your own gut feeling and instinct. If you feel like something isn't for you, if you feel like something is a little dangerous, stay away from it. You don't need to first experience the danger coming true in order to then realize that you should have listened to your instinct and intuition. Listen to it in the first place in order to avoid any kind of unnecessary challenges. Now, all of my beautiful babies born under Amun-Ra, do know that we'll move into the second part of your reading now. You don't need to do anything, just continue listening in as we delve a little more deeply into your Egyptian zodiac signs prediction and future. So I'll catch you in a second. Hello, all of my beautiful babies under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Amun-Ra. Welcome back. Let's continue further into your prediction so we can learn more about all the things that Amun-Ra needs to know and needs to hear. First up, in the King of Pentacles, you are destined to be more powerful than you ever imagined, especially politically and financially. You are meant to be at the top, you are meant to be in control, and you are meant to deal with some business people who can be a little crooked, but because you have a very high moral compass and a very direct way of doing things, they will actually end up abiding by the law and doing things as they should whenever they deal with you, because people know not to play. Next up, within the Six of Blades, I want you to understand that your mindset is shifting year after year, a lot more profoundly than other people's minds surrounding you. So I mean friends and family, and that's where it's also very important for you to bear in mind that sometimes they can't keep up, and sometimes arguments, discrepancies can show up not because there is an actual want to argue or to be petty, but more because you're just realizing that you've just changed so much mentally and spiritually that you're just on a plane that they maybe can't understand at this point in time, because you're taking big strides forward. And there's also a reason why you are meant to go from the Page of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. So starting off not really knowing 100% how things will turn off in your professional life and financially, but in the end, things ending up being a lot bigger and more successful than you ever thought. But also whenever you reach a milestone, reverting back to the Page of Pentacles. So once you're the most successful person in a room, you enter another room, and there you start as the page. You start at the bottom. It's just like someone who has, for example, made their first million in business, and that's the room that they're in, where they are the first person to accomplish that. Everyone else in the room hasn't done it yet. They have, and then they enter the next room where maybe the next goal is to do 10 million in revenue per year in a business, right? And then they're starting off as the page, even though they left the other room as a king. Now know here within the Three of Air that you are destined to be a student for life, and especially in your professional life for a long time, forever actually. But what this means is that you will always professionally be someone who is well respected, someone who has been able, this card popped out of the pile by the way just as I started shuffling, but just to round up, to sum up the Three of Air, you will always be someone who is looked at as an expert and as someone who is leading in the professional sphere, because you don't just rest on your laurels and on old information. I see here in the Two of Earth that, of course, you're taking care of the eggs or the knowledge that already exists, but you're also acquiring more knowledge, more skills as you go, because you also know that industries change, even science. Things that were facts 20 years ago get debunked all the time. People who learned about cell biology, DNA, all of these things 20 years ago, that was a fact at that point. Doctors learned things, and that is what they took as a fact, as reality. But now we've debunked so many of those theories, or just added so much more complexity, that the past, or what we learned in the past, has now become inaccurate, or just simply needs to be updated. And it doesn't matter what field we're speaking of. It's like that medically, it's like that in other professional spheres. Know here within the 1090 ratio that you are taking complete control as well as responsibility of your life, as you remember that life really is just 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Next up, within prioritize reflection, understand that this comes from a place of deeply reflecting. Maybe you have single or only child tendencies, however you'd like to call it. Maybe you did actually grow up as an only child, even if you had siblings or half siblings, and you spent a lot of time on your own. If you always felt like a fallen angel, like the outcast of society and your family, your community, it makes a lot of sense as to how you would have developed this mindset of strength, of courage, and of understanding that a lot of difficult things can happen to you, but what you make of those situations, that is completely up to you, and how you let it affect you, whether you learn from it, grow from it, and become stronger, or whether you allow it to tear you down. Next up, within beauty sleep, all of my gorgeous Amun-Ra babies, I want you to know that your guides are trying to say to you to prioritize sleep more. You haven't been getting enough beauty sleep. You need to get more shut eye, more rest, and know that this is extremely important for your health and in order to enjoy the day fully 100%. Know here within perfect moments that, of course, there is always a little something that is off. There is never a completely carefree moment in life as an adult, I'd say. And here within perfect moments, your guides are trying to explain to you that just because if it's not one thing, it's another, or at least that's how life can feel like, that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy all of the little in-betweens that can still feel perfect, and where you can still leave some of your worries and heaviness behind, to just be where you are, to be in the current moment, and to enjoy everything that's right before you. Within create and progress, what's coming next for you is a huge creative streak. So painting and creating in general, creating music, I can see that you are finding a lot of stability and a lot of refuge within your creativity. So your guides are asking you to focus more on that, to hone in more on your creative progression, and to make time for it. That's the most important. So my gorgeous babies of Amun-Ra, I hope that you enjoyed this reading based on your Egyptian zodiac sign. Feel free to let me know below in the description box. Leave a little teddy bear below to let me and others know that you belong to the Egyptian zodiac sign of Amun-Ra. Know that I'm sending you so many hugs and so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign Mut. My viewfinder is over here. In case I look over, you know why. So let's figure out precisely what you need to know. First up, we've got past life, present power. Know that there are many spiritual faces and phases of you. As the sign Mut, you are known as the mom friend of every group, and I want you to know that you have had an extensive past life. That is why you're such a compassionate and caring soul, because you have lived many lifetimes. You have experienced so many things when it comes to your past lives, so much agony, trauma, heartache, and heartbreak, that it's made you a highly sensitive individual. And now what's great about you being born under the sign of Mut and having gone through what you've gone through is that you will be far more protected during this season of your existence and this season of your awareness than you were in the past. Yes, you are the mom friend of the group, usually, all of my beautiful mutt signs. However, that doesn't mean that you are the one who has to go through difficulties and then teach others not to. You're just very protective, and you're constantly looking out for those whom you care about, using your common sense rather than making all the mistakes that there are in order to then teach others to do better. I can see here within the eye of Horus that you are actually awakening divine perception. There is some sort of spiritual and psychic gift that you're not yet aware of. However, it is going to be revealed to you either during the time of you receiving this reading or shortly thereafter. I want you to know here within the eye of Horus that your psychic gifts are strongly tied to your empathetic nature and the fact that you are able to put yourself in other people's shoes without judging. But I also want you to know that with strong psychic gifts and a strong affinity to wanting to help others does also come this scent that attracts predators, okay? And I'm speaking about narcissists. I'm speaking about people who don't know when to stop taking, and that is where you have to learn to set boundaries and to protect yourself from individuals that would just drain you. The Queen of Blades shows that an outspoken mutt is basically an unstoppable sign of the zodiac, because not only are you a very valued member of society and humanity because you're such a helper, giver, nurturer, and lover, but at the same time, you can also smell BS before it's arrived, before it's anywhere close to you. You can smell when people are just pretending to be sorry, meanwhile they're just sorry that they were caught. You can tell when people are being insincere about the type of intentions that they have with you or with those close to you, especially topics such as money and love and just overall things that are deeply attached to emotional responses and reactivity. You can tell immediately if someone is being honest or dishonest. Within the Five of Crystals, I want you to know here, Mutt, that it's important that you stay away from competitive energy. It is not for you. You are a very sensitive sign of the Egyptian zodiac. You are not meant to be in very competitive stages and phases because it doesn't do you any good, really. All that it does is stress you out. So if you had parents who always pushed you to be more competitive when it came to sports, when it came to other things, and you just didn't understand why because you didn't enjoy that competitive nature, now you know it was just never meant to be. It's just not in your personality. And especially you having psychic gifts, that is not something you can compete in. You can't be the best clairvoyant, the best clairaudient, if you know what I mean. It is just either you've got it or you don't, and there are so many different facets and parts that are invaluable. You can't really quantify it or measure it. You're not a quantifiable type of person. You don't like things where, you know, you're being put up against others, measuring points, and especially in school, like grading people basically off of how good their memory is, because let's be real, a lot of tests as well are just based on whether you can memorize things, not whether you've actually understood it. So you really thrive in different jobs and areas of life where common sense is needed rather than just kind of ticking off certain boxes or waiting for a certain answer to either tick it off as completed or it being unsuccessful. Next up, we've got ducks in a row. So I want you to know here, all of my beautiful signs of mutt, that you are the type of person who is more put together than you're giving yourself credit for. You've got your ducks in a row more favorably than you ever expected, and it will just keep going up from here. At the same time, also, don't be so hard on yourself if you feel like your life isn't how you imagined it to be at this age, during this time, or at this stage. you've got time, okay? You don't need to stress. You still have many seasons before you, and there's no point in pressuring yourself now when you still have so much that's coming towards you that is way bigger and better than you ever imagined. But you have to let the now be how it is and accept it in order for you to reach that highest version of yourself. Not everybody is meant to reach their highest version in their early 20s. There are people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who have accomplished greatness that others could only dream of. So know that just because maybe your season of greatness hasn't showed up yet, it doesn't mean that it's ever too late for you. So I will now move even more deeply into your reading. Just stay seated, keep the video on. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to click another timestamp. We will seamlessly just move into delving further into your prediction. So all of my beautiful Egyptian signs of Mut, I'll speak to you in just a second. Welcome back, my beautiful Mutt babies. Let's move even further into your prediction, shall we? I'm using the Dark Heart Tarot deck, which I self-published, to get right into your reading. So first up, we've got the 5 of Blades and the 10 of Pentacles. I see that you are prone to self-sabotaging and kind of dreaming way too small. The 5 of Blades shows that you overthink when you're actually too successful or you have too much money. Fear of success, it is a real thing that I feel like is so underrated and not a lot of people speak about, because fear of success is truly something that I think a lot of us suffer from or suffer with, if you will. The 2 of Pentacles shows that it is manageable. It's just all about finding that balance between your work, finding a way how you can rest assured that you are deserving of a lot of success, recognition, money, of a lot of promotions, whatever it is that makes you a little uncomfortable, because a lot of us do have limiting beliefs, especially around money, and generating a lot of it, like worrying about what our friends and family may think if we earn a lot more money, if we actually become wealthy, they may think we're stuck up or we got there falsely, we didn't deserve it, whatever the thoughts may be. It's all about blocking out the unhelpful ones, dealing with them, and figuring out where they stem from in the first place. The Mother of Life shows that sometimes you feel as though you haven't put in a lot of work or enough work to deserve certain things. It's almost like you feel you have to work your tail off, work yourself to the bone to deserve anything, even a regular paycheck, even if that paycheck is a paycheck that you struggle with month after month. You feel as though any more than that and you would have to work so many more hours, so much harder, put so much more blood, sweat, and tears into it before you actually deserve it. And this is where your guides are telling you, you really don't have to work your butt off in every instance just to make a little bit of extra money or to be a little bit more abundant. Sometimes it's just about doing the right type of work. Now, in the Chariot of Ascension, we've got spiritual work of the higher initiate for you. So you are definitely meant to kind of ascend a lot more from where you are right now. So reach more heights, spiritually speaking and mentally speaking. Reach more areas where you feel like you are truly at ease and at peace with yourself and your work. And here within the 2 of Air, I want you to also understand that accepting both parts of yourself, the light side and the shadow, the dark side, is something that you're not only working on, but you're successfully kind of overcoming and learning to deal with. There may be some things that you've done in the past that you're not super proud of, some dreams that you didn't properly pursue or you feel got away from you. And that is, again, where we've got the number 2, where you need to understand that it's okay to have dreams and not all of them be pursued or come true. It's also okay to have dreams and aspirations of fame, power, money, and stardom, and actually only start going after those dreams at a later point in life. Maybe you feel like you're already too old or the time has come and gone. Remind yourself that there is no such thing as too old or too late. Just think of Colonel Sanders, for example, the person who started KFC. Not that we are endorsing this type of fast food business that is causing a lot of harm at this day and age and is not the healthiest, of course, but it is about the story of someone who was in their last part of life, really. I think he was in his 60s or 70s when he started this business that now has become one of the biggest businesses in the industry on the planet. So never feel as though you're too old. In the Queen of Earth, I can see this interconnectedness to nature and to not kind of prosecute yourself just because you want to live a comfortable life. Doesn't mean that you can't be connected to nature. It doesn't mean that you can't do it while still being someone who is fair. Just because you would, for example, start your own business or grow your own business to the point where you've got a lot of employees, doesn't mean that you have to buy into the way how a lot of big corporations are doing it and barely pay people minimum wage. You can do things differently. Know here within the deep sea blind shrimp that it's important for you to use all of your senses, especially your intuition. So if you feel like something is wrong, it probably is. If you feel like someone is speaking to you in a way that just isn't right, they probably are, and it's okay to raise your concerns. And even when people try to trick you into feeling as though you're too sensitive or you're overthinking it, no, all of my beautiful mutt babies, if that is how you feel, it is valid and it is worthy of being expressed and also of being respected. Now, this is the reading that I received for your Egyptian zodiac sign, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave a little buffalo emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you belong to the Egyptian sign of Mutt. Thank you so much for sharing this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign Geb. Welcome to your prediction. So I'm going to get straight into the reading. All you need to do is lean back, relax, and enjoy this prediction. I've got my cards laid out before me, as well as my viewfinder over here. In case I look over, you know precisely why. So all of my beautiful earthy Geb babies, let's look into what's coming towards you next. So first up, we've got soul retrieval. Soul retrieval stands for deep soul healing with the goddess. So healing your divine feminine and any types of traumas that you may have experienced that have to do with the divine feminine. If you are someone who identifies as female, then you may have a lot of healing to do when it comes to your divine feminine. Maybe you have told yourself over and over again that you're not pretty enough, you're not worthy enough, or some part of your femininity isn't how it is quote unquote supposed to be. So that's where in soul retrieval you are finding back to your purest, most grounded version of yourself that is accepting and embracing of every part of you, no matter whether society sees the value in it or not. Because let's be real, a lot of our divine feminine energies were suppressed or are currently still being suppressed by society's standards and ideas of how femininity should look, feel, and be presented. Next up, we've got stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of divine authority. So this speaks beautifully with our soul retrieval card and you being true to yourself and finding yourself in a place where you're unafraid to tune into your power, your femininity, or at least the feminine aspect of you, as we all have both masculine and feminine energies, no matter who we identify as. Know that both parts of you matter. Both parts of you are powerful and beautiful and worthy of their fullest expression. And I definitely want you to know here and stay true and be in your power that the only way for you to truly be happy, satisfied, and fulfilled with your existence is to stay in your power, to feel tuned into who you are as a person. Next up, we've got the octopus. Now, this is one of my favorite animals ever, especially since I watched your octopus teacher. And for all of you who have been on my channel for a while, You know, I've said this a million times over, and I will say it a million and one times. Go watch My Octopus Teacher on Netflix. No, I am not sponsored, even though at this point you may think I'm sponsored by Netflix to say this, but it is such a touching, inspirational, eye-opening documentary that shows you these beautiful creatures from a viewpoint that you've never seen before. And why I've mentioned this documentary before is because I also felt spiritually very inspired by this documentary. You don't always have to, for example, watch something spiritual in order to feel spiritually inspired. You can also watch something completely unrelated to the divine, to the universe, God, whatever it is that you find yourself drawn towards. You don't need to just consume media that affirms your beliefs. You can watch something completely different and feel more inspired than you ever have before in the area that is spirituality within your life. So the octopus is all about practicing shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. Don't be afraid, my beautiful Geb babies, to try out a new hairstyle, a new style of clothing, to just overall change yourself physically, because there has been a strong need within you to kind of not only try something new, but just like be a new version of yourself. And I see that a big fear, or I'm hearing a big fear, is inauthenticity. People saying, you've changed so much, or something is so different about you, or why are you pretending? And this is something you really need to let go of, because our whole entire existence is based on evolving and change. If we're not changing and getting better and accomplishing more things, we become down, depressed, and tired. And I want you to know here in the honeybee to let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation with yourself. Try to remind yourself that hard work on yourself as well is rewarding, but you have to also do so compassionately. If there is something you've always wanted to change about yourself, and it's even going as far as to you considering some sort of surgery, some sort of non-surgical intervention, of course do your research and be very careful. Be aware of the risks that come with these things, but let's be real, blunt, and frank on this channel. You are allowed to do whatever you would like to do with your body. You're allowed to modify it and change it however pleases you. And if that is something that you wish to do, have compassion with yourself. From dyeing your hair to changing clothes to actually getting some sort of surgical intervention, it is all valid, it is all acceptable, as long as it's coming from a place of empowering yourself, not trying to fit into some sort of beauty standard or ideal. It should be you enhancing something that you love about yourself, or you correcting something that maybe actually physically gets in the way of you living your life. And sometimes you may want to change a feature of yourself so that another one can shine more brightly. Be compassionate when it comes to your reasons. Don't judge yourself. Do your due diligence, do the inner work, and then decide, make an informed decision on how you'd like to move forward. Next up, we've got the Hierophant for you. Under the Egyptian zodiac sign Geb, know here within the Hierophant that we've got the number 5 that corresponds to this card numerologically speaking. So there is some sort of battle between spirituality being very deep, if you will, and also feeling very shallow for wanting to change things about your physical appearance. And this is again where we've got the honeybee. Be forgiving, be compassionately towards yourself, work hard on accepting the fact that even you are human and have some things that you may want to alter that can show a little bit of a vain part of yourself, but that doesn't make you any less spiritual or deep as a person. Try to learn to differentiate your worth and your value as a spiritual being, as well as the things that you may want for yourself physically, and when it comes to your physical, optical kind of illusion appearance. So all of my beautiful Geb babies, I will move even more deeply into your reading. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to click another timestamp. We'll just move seamlessly to another overview of your prediction. So just hold tight and I'll be right back with you. Hello again, all my beautiful Geb babies. Let's figure out precisely what your Egyptian zodiac sign has to say for you in this even more in-depth part of your prediction. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Crystals. This means that the number 1 is very important for you, all of my Geb babies. So seeing the number 111 on license plates, when you check the clock, when you pay for things, this is an extremely important and meaningful angel number for you. This is a number that tells you you are on the right path, and it guides you to understand what is meant for you, especially when it comes to your career. When you, for example, see that you've got an interview in a building 111, or there is a job that you're trying to get and the phone number ends in 111, I want you to understand this is a meaningful sign from your guides that you will get this. You will be successful. And the number 1 is also symbolic of new beginnings. Know that whenever you see an ace in the tarot, this means a fresh start. Next up, we've got the 6 of Blades for you. Now, the 6 of Blades, it does show me here that when it comes to your mindset, you are turning more into this winner, into this person who sees themselves as extremely lucky. So you being born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Geb already means that you are naturally an empath, and you usually always give everyone else this warm, cozy feeling, but now you're finally turning it towards yourself too. Within the High Priestess, we've got mysteries revealed in the Eye of Isis, and I want you to understand what's coming next for you in the next weeks after you have now received this reading is some truth, some mysteries that are being uncovered that were up until now in the blue for you, completely in the unknown. And these mysteries have to do with how people really feel about you at your job. I see that in the 6 of Blades and the Ace of Pentacles, and also what you're going to do when it comes to your aspirations to be more free in your life, to either be healthier or more financially abundant. I want you to know that some truths are being revealed. You will know whether you got that job, whether you passed that exam, if you can relocate, and for example, your offer on a home is going to go through, your offer on an apartment lease. I want you to understand here that all of the answers to your questions are coming to you, and in the abundance of Sothis, know that a lot of these answers are going to be more positive than you ever expected them to be. So a lot of these things that you didn't know would go so beautifully your way. The positive news is coming to you in abundance, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian astrology sign of Geb. So look forward to this and try not to overthink why you're being so blessed at this point in time. Next up, we have got the number 0 and choice. And as you can see, this card showed up in reverse. Let me just show you what it looks like upright. So here within choice, know that you will be able to start things from a completely fresh standpoint. Now that means you have the opportunity to get into a new career field, to start a new job, also to start afresh in your romantic relationships, which means either ending a situationship or starting afresh in your marriage or committed relationship by leaving some of the grudges behind finally that you were holding on to, and really feeling like a hero, feeling like you have learned the true meaning and art of forgiveness and being the bigger person. And that's not to let someone else off the hook for something that they shouldn't have done, but it's just to give yourself peace. It is a gift that you give to you, all of my beautiful Geb babies. So definitely understand here that when it comes to your life and your relationships, you are creating them in a way that they serve you more and more, because within your jar of dreams, you know that in order to accomplish all of your goals and aspirations, you need for your private life to be intact and to not stress you out. Next up, we've got healthy boundaries. So for Geb, it's important to set healthy boundaries and to keep their circle small. You don't necessarily have to keep your circle so small that it's just you, but you get what I'm getting at, my beautiful Geb babies. You understand what I mean. With a small circle, it is all about quality with family members, with friends, as well as work colleagues, because at this point in your life during this season, we're focused on rehabilitation for you. Something that I'm also hearing is foxes, so not just wolves, but also foxes being important symbolically for you. So if you see the symbol of a wolf or a fox, or you even have a shirt or some sort of poster of a wolf or a fox, know that this is your guiding spirit animal for the moment. This is an animal that heals you and that represents the highest version of you, energetically speaking. And it's time for you to retreat away from any kind of connections that are stressing you out, and to give yourself time to rehabilitate, to ground yourself. So my beautiful Geb babies, this is the reading that I received for you based on your Egyptian astrological sign. I hope that you've enjoyed this and found it insightful. Leave a little fox emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you belong to the sign of Geb and that you were here. And if you enjoyed being in this space, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Osiris. I've got my cards laid out right before me and my viewfinder over here, so just lean back, relax, and know that we're chilling with one another like two old squirrel friends, figuring out precisely what your Egyptian zodiac sign is trying to say to you right now, and what your ancestors are trying to bring to you in form of divine intervention. I'm hearing feathers right off the bat for you, Osiris. A lot of white feathers falling from the sky as a symbol, as a sign from your ancestors when it comes to choosing the right path moving forward. So pay close attention to white feathers from here on out. First up, we've got cartouche. So I want you to know here that we've got a part of you that has a very strong connection to history. Maybe you have always loved everything that has to do with history, maybe even ancient Egyptian scriptures really interest you. You may have even considered doing something professionally that has to do with historic backgrounds. I can see here that a big part of you is also writing history. Osiris is a very hot-tempered sign of the Egyptian zodiac with a lot of energy. So often Osiris actually ends up being a leader in their community and in society, and the type of sign that really does make waves, figuratively and literally. Next up, we've got the Divine Guardian for you. The Divine Guardian shows here that you are protected by the Winged Mother. Let me just zoom in for you so you can see this a little more clearly. This is the Winged Mother whom you are protected by at this point in time, Osiris. And I would like you to know here with the Divine Guardian that with this protection also comes a certain amount of responsibility to get things done. This protection isn't just given to you in order to sail smoothly and safely through life, but actually this protection shows that it is time for you to write history. It is time for you to take risks. And now is a time and point in your life where you should be fearless and step into your highest self. That means writing history if you are a passionate musician, getting your song out there, recording a song, actually creating art and allowing for the world to see it, and putting yourself out on social media or on YouTube if you are also a tarot reader, a YouTuber, creating content that you're proud of and not being afraid of what people will think. That's definitely something I was afraid of. When I published my first ever tarot video, I thought people will think I have gone absolutely bonkers, and I was afraid to publish it, but I still hit that publish button, and to this day, it's one of the best things I've ever done. Next up, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, which shows here for Osiris that an important thing for you to focus on right now is preserving your material wealth and also your physical health and well-being. The suit of Pentacles corresponds to all things in the earthly realm. So think to yourself, your health, your time management, right? How much time you spend doing different types of tasks, but also quite literally quantifiable things such as your finances and your wealth management. So the Queen of Pentacles shows that a loving approach to taking care of your finances and your belongings is what is needed at this point in time, especially if there's something that you're looking to gain, like a home, a vehicle, extra wealth. If you don't appreciate what you already have, you will repel anything more coming your way, because it really is an energetic exchange. Money is just an energetic frequency. There is nothing that is different between you and someone who, for example, has hundreds of millions or billions of dollars that they can use, that they can play with, that they can invest, other than the mindset, the energetic frequency. It's not like you're any less capable of being in that position. It's just that the person who maybe has more material wealth to play with, but also a lot more responsibility and more issues, has put themselves in a position where they are in alignment with the vibration and frequency of money, and you can do the same for yourself. I want you to know here in the Queen of Blades that if you're asking yourself right now, all of my Osiris babies, how to do that, it is a shift in your thinking, but also your habits. If you look at some of the most common habits of people who have accomplished greatness, whether they are athletes, entrepreneurs, or any other creatives, for example, what they do is they read a lot. They take in a lot of content in order to inspire them, in order to kind of give them that competitive edge. Because if you think about it, books are nothing but knowledge that someone has compiled over years, sometimes decades or a lifetime, and put together into this one magnificent piece of art that you get to read and finish in a couple hours. Someone's entire life works. Imagine how that puts you ahead of the curve if you implement all of those lessons someone is teaching you, for example, in a business book. They had to learn that over decades, and you get to digest that immediately in just a couple hours and implement and not have to make the same mistakes in order to acquire desired results. It's like a shortcut, really, to the world and to the life that you want. So take that shortcut. Listen to books and media, listen to podcasts, and even YouTube videos that you feel inspire you to do things that are in alignment with your dream life. Next up, we've got third eye blind. Be aware of the fact that your intuition can be sharpened still. Osiris, you are a sign of the Egyptian zodiac that, as already mentioned, can be impulsive and temperamental, which really helps when it comes to getting things done, when it comes to taking a stand, making a strong statement. But I also want you to know here in the third eye blind that sometimes overthinking and over-questioning your intuition and your gut feeling can lead to making decisions that go against that because you're so confused and you've overthought it so much. So go with that first thought, that first intuition. Your first instinct is usually the most accurate and true one. So all of my beautiful babies who were born under the Egyptian zodiac sign Osiris, this is the first part to your prediction that I've received. I will delve a little more deeply into your reading now. You don't need to do anything. Just continue enjoying. There are no timestamps to be clicked. I'll just go seamlessly into the second part of your reading. Hello and welcome back, my beautiful Osiris babies of the Egyptian zodiac. Let's see what more messages that Spirit and your guides have for you. So we've got a lot of blades right off the bat. Try to calm yourself down mentally. If you've been stuck in anxiety, if you've been overthinking, if you have been in a place where you simply feel as though everything is too much for you to handle and process, it is now time for you to either take a step back by taking a vacation and taking some time off, or taking the entire weekend to just sleep and rest, as we see suggested here in the 10 of Blades. And definitely do know that when these signs come to you in a reading, it is an urgent matter, my beautiful Osiris babies. You really need to take a step back. You've been overworking yourself. I see that here with the 8 of Pentacles. You're simply trying to create a career for yourself that you love, that you're proud of, and that you can stand behind. But I want you to know here in the 5 of Blades that Even if that is your intention, you still need to take care of yourself and learn to chill. The Two of Pentacles represents work-life balance, the duality of life, the different sides, okay? The fact that, yes, on one hand, you can be successful, you can love your job, you can be the absolute best at what you do, but even you need a break sometimes from work. Even you need a little bit of time away from what you do in the day today. And this time has come. You are receiving this message for a reason. Next up, we've got the deep sea blind shrimp, which shows that you are being called to use your intuition more to tune into your body. You haven't been doing this enough, all of my beautiful Osiris babies. That means feeling into your body and what it needs, feeling when you're tired, when you're feeling elevated and energized, and knowing that when you're tired, it is just symbolic of your body wanting to relax and rest. And it's important that you then give your body that rest. In the longhorn cowfish, expect a valuable gift to come your way, and it doesn't even need to be anywhere near your birthday or a special occasion. This is a just because type of gift, a very valuable one. It may be something small like jewelry. This is actually a bow life piece of jewelry right here. If you know, then you know, and so is this necklace. You guys, I have so many little hidden references in my tarot and oracle cards to everything that I do and stand for. So let's move further into your reading. We've got the Pyramid of Light. Know here that you're being called to step your vibration deeper into love. Try to be less judgmental, my beautiful Osiris baby. You are definitely someone who is very caring, and you always want for other people to win, but sometimes you can get so involved in other people's business that you almost make it your own business to help them get out of tragic and difficult situations. And sometimes you have to step into love and also see when someone isn't ready to be helped out of a difficult situation. That is really something that can happen, that you try to help someone, but they're just not ready to get better, to recover, to see that they have to change something in order to get to the next stage in life. And I see here within Life Restored that the more you kind of distance yourself from making the world's issues your issue, the more you will also feel restored, energetically speaking, because it will be easy for you to see that, hey, yes, you have your own issues, your own things that you're going through, but that doesn't mean that you have to carry the entire weight of the world on your shoulders as well, just because you have learned how to solve things. Know here in the Portal of Light, that doesn't make you responsible for other people's issues, especially if you've got kids or a relationship. You need to focus on what's right in front of you, on those closest to you, and learn to say no as well, all of my beautiful signs of Osiris. So my gorgeous Osiris babies, this is the second part to your reading that I received for you. I hope you've enjoyed this and that you found this experience insightful and divine. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section by leaving a little beetle emoji below. That way I know that you belong to the sign of Osiris. And I'd like to thank you for being here and spending this divine time and space with me. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll catch up with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Isis. So we'll get straight into your reading. I've got my decks laid out right before me, as well as my viewfinder over here in case I look over. You know precisely why, but all of my... Okay, so immediately we've got the Temple of Lapis Lazuli that needs to speak within your reading. The Temple of Lapis Lazuli is representative of a crystal and the goddess of the ancient skies. I want you to know here that communication is key with you, Isis. You are a sign of the Egyptian zodiac that is outspoken, that is definitely a do-gooder, and at heart a big philanthropist. You've got a huge heart and this kind of want and need to do better in your lifetime and to leave the earth a better place than how you found it or when you were born. Next up, we've got the Portal of Light for you. The Portal of Light represents that you are gliding gliding your wings through time and space, and in a sense, within this portal of light, you are the type of person who does not feel as though life begins and ends within this season. You definitely believe in afterlives. You most likely believe in afterlives, and you probably also believe that you have lived previous lifetimes before you were incarnated in this instance, watching this video right now. And I want you to know in the portal of light that sharing your wisdom and your inner light through movement, dance, through also just holding other people's hand, physical touch, that is a huge gift that you have. You're the type of person where if you find yourself in a situation where you are giving someone else your hand or giving someone else a little just physical touch, it's not awkward. People actually really enjoy physical touch from you and closeness, and it's like your superpower. It's something that helps you to heal others greatly. Next up, we've got the Four of Blades. You're an overthinker. There's no other way to put it. Here within Isis, you've got a lot of responsibility. Maybe you even work within the healthcare system. As Isis is known as a goddess that helps protect people in childbirth, maybe that's quite literally part of what you do, or just overall you've got a job that is meant to protect other people. If you're not working in that field right now, know that you will be a protector or a guardian at some point, a parent to a child or a pet who just overall overthinks the well-being of that living creature that you feel you have responsibility over, so much to the point where maybe you experience insomnia, you experience a lot of anxiety and stress. And yeah, we're being a bit dramatic about it right now in your reading, but this can have serious health implications, especially if you're a parent that overthinks and worries a lot. It can definitely take away from your energy, which you could be spending with your children or your family. So know here within the Knight of Cups that it's important for you, Isis, that you find a partner who gets you, who brings you calm, safety, and inner peace. You don't need somebody's dusty, crusty son or daughter just stressing you out. If you're in a relationship or a situationship like that, it is definitely not meant for you in the long term, as you are meant to live a life of peace, especially inner peace, where you can rest assured that the person that you're with isn't going to go out there and do something that would make you feel shameful or embarrassed to have spent your life with them. Next up, we've got the gorilla for you. The gorilla brings the message of taking time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. If you've got family members who are trying to point out to you an area of your life that could use some improvement or could definitely benefit from you looking at it in a little bit of a different viewpoint, if you will. And we just spoke about relationships, so know that family isn't always just talking. Family know you, often does want the best for you. Yes, there are sometimes some shady family members who can be in your business even though it's none of their business, and especially if it's extended family, can kind of feel like they're in a bit of a competition with you, even where there is no competition, but they still are. But I want you to know that especially a family member who has usually proven to just want the best for you, a motherly, fatherly figure, a grandparent, for example, if they are trying to point out to you that maybe your work is draining you, that you need to learn to say no to a relationship that is just dragging you down, that is more like an anchor rather than wind in your sails, try to listen to them. And I hope that you can appreciate this very direct and honest reading for you, all of my beautiful Isis babies. But let's move further into your prediction, shall we? So next up, we've got the butterfly effect. Know that when you let go of anchors and anything holding you down or holding you back, you will have this huge butterfly effect of going from a caterpillar to a butterfly, this metamorphosis, this huge, extraordinary change that simply allows you to evolve to this next highest version of yourself that you are meant to exist in. So pray to your guides that things will be taken away from you that are holding you back from where you're really meant to be. Because sometimes we really want to be with a person, or we really want a job, we really want something to happen. Meanwhile, actually, our guides, our ancestors, the universe has something so much better in store for us if we just let go of what we're holding on to that we are kind of afraid to lose. So all of my beautiful Isis babies, I will now move seamlessly into the continued, even more in-depth portion of your Egyptian zodiac signs prediction. So all you need to do is hang tight. There are no more timestamps for you to click, and I'll catch you during the second, even more intricate part of your reading. Hello and welcome back, my beautiful Isis babies. Let's move more deeply into your Egyptian zodiac signs messages that we've got for you. First up, we've got the High Priestess. Look at this confident body language. Look at how we are not just being confident in our own bodies, but also expressing that openly, publicly. That's where I can see that your guides want you to lean into, my beautiful babies born under the sign of Isis. Don't be afraid to be yourself, and don't be afraid about what may be revealed about others or through others once you are being yourself. And I mean people who pretended like they were rooting for you, but once you step into your highest power, all of a sudden they start to become really weird. They start to act really funky. And then you start to realize that they were never really on your team. They were never really rooting for you. Some people become pretty envious and jealous, and they wanted you to be successful as long as you're not more successful than them. Next up, we've got the Seven of Cups. Thankfully, you've got a lot of people on your side and just overall around you who really are meant for you. So while you will be weeding out some relationships with people who are a little jealous or have some growing up to do, on the other end, you will also see that you've got some keen supporters who want you to be as strong and as successful as you possibly can be. Next, we've got the High Priestess again. We already had the High Priestess here within this Isis Oracle, and now we've got it in the Dark Heart Tarot deck. And when a tarot card shows up twice, it is a very meaningful coincidence, or shall we say divine message, which shows you here that it is time for you to reflect on the cycles in your life, on the rhythm of your life. Is there, for example, a time of the month or of the year where you tend to do a lot more procrastination, then all of a sudden you clean everything up, you spring clean your home, you do those tax returns you're supposed to do, you fill out those forms, send off those letters, and then it's done? Until all of a sudden things get tight again, until all of a sudden there is a little bit more friction. Look at the cycles and try to find a way how you can overcome challenging cycles in your life. The King of Crystals shows us here that there is someone coming into your life with strong fire sign energy. Think Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries energy. They're most likely older than you, and they're very sure about themselves. They're part of one of the options that you've got to be around, to pick from when it comes to the relationships that you keep in your life. I'll just put your King of Crystals right under the Seven of Cups, so you know that's what he is, an option, someone who you can choose to be with and choose to attach to emotionally speaking, or not. I mean, the choice is yours. Here within the Chariot, know that this depicts forward movement and speed. This shows that you're getting all of your ducks in a row and you're no longer playing around, my beautiful Isis babies. I want you to know here within the Chariot that when you're not playing around, other people can feel it, sense it, and smell it, and they will start to treat you differently and actually even start offering you more than before. It's funny how the more confident you get, and almost, if you will, a little savage or ruthless, the more people comply, which is really strange, actually, why that would even be the case. But know here within the Nine of Earth that when it comes to you, as well as the authoritative energy that you are embedding or bringing to the table, I can definitely see an increase in that, because you're becoming more confident on what you have to offer, because you know how much work you've put into your life and into your professional ventures, and that just gives you an unmatched type of confidence that the maiden often does not have. Now, the maiden shows us here a very childlike sense of wonderment that you are not losing. Regardless of what life throws at you, you will never harden, you will never allow for life to callous you, and that is something that a lot of people envy you for. Maybe you also have a baby face. You are the type of person who will never quite grow old. You may become responsible, you may become a CEO, a boss, the type of person who leads a large corporation or even your own business, but at heart you will always have a little bit of a childlike value to you. You will always look young, way beyond your years, and you will always have this playfulness about you. So all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian sign of Isis, I really hope that you've enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section, and furthermore, know that I'm sending you so many hugs, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Thoth. I'm going to get straight into your prediction. I've got my cards laid out right before me and my viewfinder over here in case I look over. Just know I'm trying to make sure everything stays in focus for you. So let's see precisely what your Egyptian zodiac sign stands for and what messages that you are meant to receive from your deity. So first up, we've got the lunar queen, she of the celestial crescent. I want you to know that your connection to the moon is especially deep, all of my babies born under Thoth. This means that maybe during full moons you find it very difficult to get sleep. Insomnia may be the norm, but you never realize that it had a regularity to it, that it had this reoccurring pattern and cycle. So pay attention to how you sleep, eat, and breathe during new and full moons, because there is definitely a very deep, intimate connection between you and the celestial events, the lunar events, to be specific, that are occurring. So let's move a little more deeply into your reading. Next up, we've got the Divine Sisterhood. In the Divine Sisterhood, we've got community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. One thing that you're being called to do is to not give up on the fact that you've still got your tribe out there. If you're the type of person who is a bit of a loner, a bit of an introvert, and you don't have very many friends, don't feel like that is something that is strange, all of my beautiful Thoth babies. You are the type of sign of the Egyptian zodiac that is especially well-traveled, well-mannered. You have learned a lot of sciencey things, a lot of nerdy things, and that's usually not something that you do in a huge group. Maybe you were a bit of a gamer when you were younger. You still are when you have time, that is. And I want you to know here in the Divine Sisterhood that you've still got a lot of friends and sisters and brothers out here that are very similar to you that you have yet to meet. However, at this point in time, you may have a smaller list of friends and acquaintances because you're learning the lesson of quality over quantity. And maybe you are also in a cycle of your existence where you're meant to have a little bit more time for you before you start a fresh chapter of more socializing. Next up, we've got I'm golden. Never forget that, all of my beautiful Thoth babies. You are golden, you are deserving, and you are the prize, but it's up to you to act like it, especially when you feel like certain friends or family or people who you're even romantically interested in aren't reflecting that treatment and behavior you would give to someone who you respect. It is okay for you to demand respect or simply retreat from a situation in which you can tell that the participants aren't respectful of you and your needs. Yes, narcissistic parents are a thing. Immature parents are a thing, even though it sounds very counterintuitive. But just like people say kids, mature kids, or kids who are wise beyond their years, a mature child does not actually exist, right? Again, this is kind of paradoxical, if you will. However, mature children do exist when you've got immature parents that force a child to become wise beyond their years, because they are left to their own devices, and children then have to mature and grow up quickly and become wise quickly because they know that their guardian isn't going to do diddly squat if they're in a situation in which they need help, if they're in a situation is important and could alter the path of their life, whether it be something like showing up to parent-teacher meetings, making sure homework is done, or that you pass to the next grade. It could also be parents leaving children to their own devices to cook, to care for themselves, to make sure their mental health is taken care of. Kids who feel lonely because they don't have parents who they can speak to. These are all things that we need to be aware of, the fact that you cannot always go to every parent, grandparent, friend, or sibling in this world to understand that you are golden and you are worthy. Sometimes you have to demand it, and sometimes you have to distance yourself from people who will forever refuse to see it. As sad as that sounds, as direct and big sis-ish that I'm being right now, I hope that you can appreciate this, because I don't want any of you to waste your precious time trying to get approval or sympathy or compassion and empathy from someone who doesn't even have that from for themselves. They sure as hell are not going to have it for you. So you might as well spend that time and energy strengthening bonds with people who are deserving of your time and energy. So next up, we've got too many hats. All of my beautiful Thoth babies, you are the type of person who is so multifaceted. You are great at a lot of different things. You can ski, you can cook, you are decent at working out, you can calculate things, you can do a little bit of accounting. You are the type of person who can sing or dance or paint a little, and at the same time, you can also run a business if you need to. In too many hats, I can see that having so many different traits, being like a jack of all trades, if you will, can wear you down and make you a little tired. So choose a couple hats that you really enjoy and you're good at, and then hone in on those skills. Make the most of those skills so you don't feel like you've always got yourself scattered all over the place, because that's where you can really excel and kind of make the most of your talents when you zoom in and hone in on one thing and put all of your energy towards it, at least for a little bit. At least for a little bit, and you will find that you will go way ahead of where your peers are in a very short amount of time. Next up, we've got the Emperor for you. So all of my beautiful babies born under the zodiac sign, the Egyptian zodiac sign of Thoth, know here that you are a planner, an executor, a leader, someone who people look up to, envy, and admire and aspire to be. Yes, you are all of those things. And not only am I hyping you up, but Thoth really does have that kind of vibe that comes with this slight intimidation from others. So you have some authoritative energy to you that gives you this edge and this air of don't mess with me or else. So definitely know here within the Emperor that that does come with the responsibility of sometimes softening the divine masculine energy that you have in order to allow for people to speak a little more openly so you can get all the information that you need either at work or romantically to know where you stand. So do know also within the Emperor that this is just kind of like a game of knowing precisely when to be the boss, when to be the friend and colleague, and this is where you're really great at switching and knowing precisely what interpersonal relationships to give what depth to and who to really just keep on a surface level. Again, we spoke about that with friends and family and acquaintances, that you shouldn't go too deep with because it doesn't really bring anything at that point. So know here that you are kind of the master of relationships, of knowing who to categorize precisely where. And this brings you very far in corporations when it comes to 9-to-5s, but also if you're building your own team and your own business. So my beautiful babies of the Egyptian zodiac sign Thoth, I will move even more deeply into your reading You don't need to do anything. It's all prepped for you. Just continue to enjoy your prediction, and I'll speak to you in just a moment again. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Thoth. We'll move even more deeply into your reading to figure out precisely what you need to hear and know. So we've got a few cards from the Wild Muse Oracle deck that popped right out of the pile. So first, you've got to take action and disconnect, okay? So disconnect from social media, deactivate that Instagram, Facebook account, stop scrolling down your feed and timeline aimlessly. You're wasting your life and wasting your time. You are meant to receive this tough love message right now, all of my beautiful Thoth babies. Remind yourself of the fact that if you want to be authentic and fight for what's right, you cannot be preaching something that you're not doing, okay? If you are preaching self-care, mental health, awareness of oneself, you have got to do that. You cannot just say that you would like to live in a world that is more fair, that is more caring, but then you don't do the same for yourself. If social media is influencing you, even causing anxiety, body dysmorphia, and low self-esteem because of the constant inevitable comparison that happens, I think, pretty naturally and automatically when you see someone who, quote unquote, looks perfect, who has a perfect life, who's got a lot of riches, a lot of options, a lot of everything, it's easy to start to feel bad about yourself and to start comparing yourself to. So remind yourself here that it's time to act for yourself. It's time to stand up for your health, and you're the only one who can do that. The Five of Cups is symbolic of the fact that if you fail to take care of your mental health at this point in time, you will regret it. You will just kind of prolong the agony unnecessarily. So it is important that you take space, take rest, take distance from anything and everything that makes you feel unsure or insecure about your accomplishments. And that will lead to a new beginning and a fresh start. That's what we've got depicted here within the Fool, which is the very first card of the major arcana within the tarot. And I want you to know here that this card is symbolic of freedom. It's like all options are open again. You feel like sky is the limit. As soon as you get used to not living in this bubble of comparison or of feeling bad about yourself when you compare what other people your age have accomplished or are putting online. Next up, we've got the Longhorn Cowfish. Expect a valuable gift sooner rather than later, my beautiful Thoth babies. This gift doesn't necessarily have to be a gift that is anywhere close to your birthday. This is a just because gift. This is a gift because you're an awesome friend, an awesome daughter, an awesome mother or father, just a very kind person. And the Mandarin fish definitely urges you to be gentle with yourself and take steps back if needed. Sometimes when we push ourselves too much, we can get to the stage where actually we need to now go back because we've done a little too much. Like if you've bitten off more than you can really chew, for example, trying to do extracurricular activities, keeping up with school or studies, then also having a home to take care of, personal commitments, family commitments. Maybe you've got a gym membership, for example, and you're in a space where you simply don't have the time to go, and therefore you are wasting that money away. I see here within the African lionfish, it's really the power of your choice. Place your attention on gratitude. Place your attention on making sure that you are constantly grateful that you have these opportunities. And it doesn't mean that you're ungrateful because you're taking some things off of your plate and taking some steps back and configuring whether you truly need or want all of these different responsibilities in your life. That is something to feel proud of because it shows true inner strength and care for yourself and your well-being. And it's about time that we express this and see this from you. So all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Thoth, this is the reading that I've received for you. I hope that you've enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section by leaving a little fish emoji below. That way you can let me and others know that this is your Egyptian zodiac sign. And furthermore, if you're interested in my tarot and oracle cards, as these are all cards that I have created and self-published. The link to all of my decks is below in the description box. They all ship straight from my HQ here in Switzerland. So I'd like to thank you for being here, my beautiful Thoth babies, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Horus. Horus was known as the protector of the pharaoh, and for more information about Horus, make sure that you check out the video I published simultaneously with this one. It's linked in the description box, where I explain each Egyptian zodiac sign in great detail. But now let's move into your reading, shall we? I have the cards laid out right before me, as well as my viewfinder right here. In case I look over, you know precisely why. But all of my gorgeous Horus babies, let's move into your reading to figure out precisely what divine messages that we've got for you. First up in the Two of Crystals, decision making. As you are under the sign of Horus, you know how it feels like to have a lot of responsibility that you're dealing with and that is put on your shoulders. Maybe you've already kind of had this at a very early age. You had to be mature, you had to be wise beyond your years, you had to just do whatever necessary in order to make sure that you survived, that you thrived, that you got the education that you really wanted to. And I want you to know in the Two of Crystals that decision making is your biggest strength, doing so rapidly. You may feel like you're sometimes a little all over the place, but when it comes to getting things done, that is where Horus thrives. But also deciding that sometimes you have to protect yourself over protecting others. As I mentioned right at the start of your reading, you are the protector of the pharaoh. You are a protector when it comes to relationships in your life, be it a protector in the form of you being a parent, protecting a child, being the protector in your family, being an older sibling, or maybe your job involves bringing kind of, how should I say, bad deeds or certain people to justice to protect those who are weaker. If you work for an insurance or you work in a health company, again, you are trying to protect. And it is also important that you learn to sometimes give that protective energy to yourself, not just to others. Next up, we've got life of the party. Now, all my beautiful babies born under the sign of Horus, I want you to know within life of the party that you are truly symbolic of the perfect party guests that everyone loves to invite and loves to have. I want you to know here, within life of the party, it is evident that you are an amazing helper. If you're invited to the party, you want to be involved in everything. You're just overall the type of person who can talk to anyone about anything. You can have small talk or deep conversation. Even though you may prefer one over the other, you're capable of kind of doing it all. You're a great all-rounder. In the Mother of Life, we've got nourishment of the golden grain mother. A message I'm immediately receiving is the day you plant the seed is not the day that you will reap what you have sown. Okay, it is very important for you to remember that planting the seeds happens during one season and period and one time. Then you water, you wait, you grow patient, and the roots first grow down before things grow up. Remind yourself of that. If you don't see the results that you desired right off the bat, remember those roots grow down before you see anything that you have sown, any of the seeds that you've planted grow up. Remind yourself of that here within the Mother of Life and the nourishment of the golden grain mother. In order for the best things to come to fruition, they take time, okay? Whether that is success in your career, whether that is success in a relationship or a marriage, it takes time, persistence, energy, and effort. And you've got all of what it takes. However, sometimes you may overthink, you may make a hasty decision, and then you have to start all over again. For example, if you quite literally plant a seed and you get impatient and you dig it back up to see what's happening, and you see that there actually were little roots growing from the tiny seed that you planted, but now you've taken it, uprooted it from where it was growing, where it was anchoring, you've kind of harmed and damaged the progress. You can put it back in and it will continue to grow, but this is like a setback, right? It is like you've taken your progress down a notch when it comes to the speed. So trust once you have planted a seed that things will grow down and eventually grow up. Trust that you are nourishing all of your dreams and aspirations the way that you should. If you, of course, believe that yourself. If you know that there is some extra work that can be done that you have not been putting in, do that. And then trust. Trust, let it be. Don't uproot the seed. Next up, we've got the walrus. The walrus brings you the message of remaining vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. My beautiful signs of Horus, if right now you are asking yourself what decision to make, do you leave your job? Do you stay at your job? Do you leave the situationship? Do you give them another chance? What do you do in this situation? The signs are everywhere, and that's what the walrus stands for. Remain vigilant about your current situation, especially if you're not sure what to do. Don't go with what someone tells you, go with how they act. Go with the results that are being presented to you, because humans will say anything to get whatever they desire. That is unfortunately the reality that we live in. So listening to your gut feeling and intuition about what is right for you and what to steer clear from is the right thing for you to do right now at this moment in time. So my gorgeous Horus babies, this is the first part of your reading that I've received for you. I'll now move into the second part. You don't have to click any timestamps or do anything. This is a seamless transition, so I'll speak to you in just a second. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Horus. Let's see what further messages that your guides have prepared for you. First up, we've got the Two of Crystals as well as the Emperor. Take complete control over your time, whether it's a boss that's trying to give you extra tasks to do, a coworker who you know knows precisely what they need to do, but they keep asking you because they know that you will help them to the extent that they've got less work, or maybe even a family member who constantly needs you to solve their problems, resulting in you never having enough time for the things that you would like to do. So in the Two of Crystals and the Emperor, I definitely see here for you that it is about time that you say no to some of these requests, or just simply say, hey, I've got a few things to finish first, and you do those, you tend to those before you tend to anyone else's things. Because I see here in the Knight of Blades that you've got amazing opportunities coming towards you, but as you can see here in the Knight of Blades, you need to seize them. There's nothing worse than an opportunity showing up and you're unable to seize the opportunity or do anything with it because you were not prepared. It's better to be prepared and for an opportunity not to come or to take more time to show up, rather than for an opportunity to show up and you're not prepared, or you have got to pass it up because you're spending your time taking care of everybody else but yourself. Next up, we've got Fighting Spirit. Know that it's okay to say no. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you someone who isn't caring or isn't loving. It actually shows a lot of lovingness towards yourself at times, because if you are not well, if you are not functioning properly, if you can't even think straight, if your body is breaking down, how can you be of any use to the world or anybody else? How can you be there for your loved ones? How can you perform in the long run? Know here within the journey, however, not to be so hard on yourself if up until this point you haven't put yourself first. It is okay. It is a journey. We aren't born already understanding how to navigate all of these very complex situations. We aren't born already understanding what to say in order to not hurt other people's feelings, but still create those boundaries so you can take care of yourself. It's okay for this to take time. It is completely normal, and I want you to know here within the journey that it is also essential for you to understand that you get better and better at kind of finessing situations the older you get, and the more you analyze the mistakes that you've maybe made in the past and figure out how you can better navigate in the future. Now, within the Mandarin fish, be gentle with yourself. That is what we've been speaking of here within the reading. What it really boils down to for you, my beautiful Horus babies, is to be gentle with yourself, to be kind with all of your needs, rather than to feel as though, ooh, okay, I really need to get everyone else's thing done and then I'll see how much time is left for me. Know here within the Olive Ridley sea turtle that you know what inevitably must be done. You know inevitably where you have to set boundaries. Sometimes you even need to do so with your own family, with your own friends and kids. Know here within the Olive Ridley sea turtle that getting out of this comfort zone, out of this saying yes zone, this people-pleasing zone, it will be the best thing you've ever done for yourself. And don't be afraid of people calling you selfish. They may do that initially because they are shocked. If they don't come back understanding that you really needed a break, then maybe they're simply not your tribe because they don't have your best interest at heart. I see here within the beluga whale that it's time for you to feed your curiosity and try something new. Moving forward, you are being called to take control, as we've got here in the Emperor, which is symbolic of control, authority, and taking the reins and matters into your own possession. And I see here that you're being called to try something new when it comes to travel, trying new foods, new cooking skills out, and just overall doing a lot more experimentation than you have in the past. So my beautiful babies born under the sign of Horus, I hope that you've enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Let me know below in the comment section. By leaving a little turtle emoji below, you can let me and others know that you belong to the Egyptian zodiac sign of Horus. And furthermore, the links to all these cards can be found below. These are all cards that I have created and self-published, and you can find them on my website, bulllife.com. So, my gorgeous Horus babies, I'm sending you so much love, and I cannot wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my fellow babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Anubis, the guardian of the underworld. If you are also born under Anubis, which clearly you are if you're here right now, then you're just like me, a little introverted. You kind of do believe in your talents and your aspirations, and you're the type of person who prefers deep conversations and deep relationships over shallow ones. But for more information on your Egyptian zodiac sign, remember I just posted a video simultaneously to this one in which I go more in depth about each sign. It's linked in the description box for you. So first up, we've got count your chickens. One thing that I want you to know within count your chickens is to protect your source of income and your sources of happiness. If your source of income is one job or multiple streams of revenue, make sure that you are paying close attention to not risk too much at this point in time. So let's see what your deities have to say to you right now, or shall I say to us. First up, we've got spill the tea. And spill the tea, be honest, be outspoken, tell other people how you feel. Even if you think that they won't like it, you sometimes just have to have these uncomfortable conversations in order for other people to understand where your boundaries lie and what you like and do not like. And spill the tea, also remind yourself that if you're dealing with a situationship, spill the tea. Say you don't want to be in a situationship if you don't want to be in a situationship. If you're in a relationship and the person is acting unbearable, they're showing a side of them that you don't think you can live with for the rest of your life, spill the tea, speak to them about it. I definitely want you to understand here within your reading that being honest and outspoken is the best thing that you can do for yourself in the long term, even if it's uncomfortable at first. Next up, we've got abundance of Sothis, stellar blessings of the celestial goddess of abundance. You've got some amazing abundance and blessings coming towards you that you maybe didn't expect. Now, these blessings can come in the form of funds that you completely forgot about, you didn't even know they existed, like a bank account you didn't know was out there, your parents made for you at one point in time. I also want you to know here within the abundance of Sothis, not to get too caught up in material things. Yes, it's great to be able to pay your bills and then some and have a little extra at the end of the month in order to take care of yourself or your family and some extra needs other than just food, rent, and insurances. But also know that it is important for you to distance yourself a little bit from giving financial wealth and abundance too much meaning and too much of a too much of a pedestal to stand on really within your life. So if, for example, you are a business owner or just overall someone whose income fluctuates and you allow that to dictate your mood, your belief in yourself, you're going to find yourself feeling unhappy a lot of the times. Trust me, I have experienced this, where worries and overthinking will definitely keep you trapped in this vicious cycle where if you don't perform, you just don't feel like you're worthy and you are not your material performance. Next up, we've got the Ace of Blades. Now, the Ace of Blades shows us the beginning of a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing things, and of communicating with yourself. So not being so hard on yourself if maybe your numbers are a little down. Maybe for some reason you're feeling like you're in a creative rut, so you can't do as much as you usually would. And even if you've got a 9 to 5, know here within the Ace of Blades that that too isn't your identity. If you're not happy with where you're at professionally, take on this new way of seeing things like this is just a stop to where you're meant to go. This is just part of the learning curve. A lot of people who you look up to, who you think are amazing business people, entrepreneurs, or artists, they had jobs that they didn't love or even hated before they got to a place where they were given the opportunity to make their craft their main squeeze. Step within the meerkat, get support from a trusted group of like-minded friends. Talk to people who have already gone where you're trying to go. If you are trying to build your own business, speak to someone who owns their own business, and then you may rethink that decision or that idea. Or you may actually think to yourself, this is it, let me go for it. It may give you some inspiration and some really, really invaluable insight about challenges as well as ways how you can make your business succeed. Because if there's one way to learn, that is from the people who have come before you and done exactly what you're trying to do. So all of my beautiful Egyptian signs of Anubis, don't give up when it comes to your dreams, even if they seem very difficult to reach. Chances are someone has already done it. Ask them how they succeeded and how they got there. Next up, we've got I'm possible. Again, we spoke about possibility just now. Thinking to yourself that something is impossible, well, guess what? The word impossible says I'm possible in itself. It's just how you view things, how you see things. We spoke about the Ace of Blades and a new viewpoint, a new way of seeing the world. So I definitely see that what comes towards Anubis is kind of stepping out of the known of what you thought you were made of and realizing you are so much more. You are not only capable of so much more, but you are destined to be so much more. And reminding yourself that some of the things that you have wished for are way smaller than where you're destined to go and what you're destined to receive. And that one thing that you need to learn to do is to not cringe at your own requests and your own wants and needs or feel as though they're too big or they're too much, because they are not. You simply need to set your eye on the prize, ask for it from the deities that are on your path, whether that be God or the universe. And if either one of those makes you cringe when you hear it, remind yourself that is often a sign that you have a little bit more work to do with accepting not only what you believe in, but also accepting that you don't need to be threatened by what someone else believes in. So do know here within your reading, a huge message for you is to believe in yourself, to not feel threatened by what others are saying or doing, and to not underestimate where you're headed and all of the amazing surprises that lie ahead on your path. But we'll get into even more detail in your reading in just a second. You don't have to click a timestamp. You don't have to do anything. We'll just seamlessly transition here into more depths of your prediction. Welcome back, my beautiful Anubis babies. Let's move even more deeply into your reading. So first up, we've got the Seven of Earth. I can see you finding a center, finding a very grounded version of yourself. Let me just rearrange the cards for you. And as this is the first card that showed up for you, know that this is a very important vibe for you to find a place where you feel relaxed, where you feel like you can chill and you're not being judged for everything. You don't feel as though you're burning up because people are watching everything that you do and criticizing everything that you do. I see here within the Seven of Cups that you've got a lot of different options when it comes to friends, but also romantic partners. So pick wisely and pick the type of person who hypes you up, the type of person who's your biggest cheerleader, because being born under the sign of Anubis definitely means that you are confident and sympathetic, but the wrong partner can strip that inner strength away from you. So be very wary about who you allow to be within your energetic circle. Now, the Strength card definitely shows that you are the type of person who gets their strength from within. You have always been wise beyond your years. You're always the type of person who is there for others. And sometimes it's important to also just celebrate your strength for what it is and understand that even though you've been through very tough times, you were meant to be that person. You were chosen by the divine to be that person who overcomes certain adversity because only you were able to live through it. And I want you to understand here within the Tower that what we've got as a message for you is to let go of expectation, because nothing is going to be the way that you kind of planned for it to be anyways. Everything's going to turn out differently. Everything's going to be slightly altered, but be open to the possibility that everything might be slightly altered or even completely different than you expected, but in a favorable way. Fighting spirit shows that you are someone who is very strong on the outside as well. So maybe you like to train, or you used to love to train, and you did something that requires a lot of strength, whether it is actually boxing or it was something like cheerleading, like gymnastics, like going to the gym and lifting weights. I want you to know that you're being called to get back at it, especially if you've fallen out of line with your fitness goals. Now, healthy boundaries shows that all of you born under the sign of Anubis need to create more healthy boundaries within your life between you and those closest to you. Keep your circle small, just like we've got depicted here within the Healthy Boundaries card. And also, don't compromise on your morals and your values. That is an important part of your identity, and it is important that you are able to express that. Doesn't mean that you have to be right, but just at least the ability to express it is important. Within the Mandarin Fish, we have got this message of being gentle with yourself. Take steps back if necessary. Don't feel like you have to do everything all at once. Know within the bottlenose dolphin that it's also important for you to sometimes socialize and celebrate life, whether it's actually celebrating your birthday even after years of not doing too much on your birthday, whether that is celebrating someone else's birthday and accomplishments. Try not to be so shy when you leave your home and you leave your known circle and safe space. Try to be a little bit more outgoing as much as you can. Also, to moving your body and having fun. Don't be so shy to dance, to sing, to move your body in front of other people. Don't feel like you're making a fool of yourself, because you're really not. It's just all in your head. Bottlenose dolphin is encouraging you to celebrate life in all its facets. And even if you were to kind of make a bit of a fool of yourself, that's part of life. We all do sometimes. Don't forget that. So my gorgeous babies born under the sign of Anubis, I hope that you are well, and know that I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Seth. You are known to be the god of chaos and, at heart, kind of a perfectionist. But if you want to learn more about your Egyptian zodiac sign, the link to the video I posted simultaneously to this reading is in the description box. So all you need to do is click it, and you can learn more about your Egyptian zodiac sign. So I've got my cards laid out before me, as well as my viewfinder right here in case I look over. Just know I want to make sure everything is in focus for you. So let's move into this, all of my beautiful signs of Seth. First up, we've got the ancient power mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. And know here that one part of who you're meant to be is a great listener. Someone who just gets other people. You may be a teacher, a psychologist, a doctor, just someone who really understands others. Also, if you are a fellow tarot reader or psychic, you have a lot of listening to do as well, not just to people whom you're speaking to, but also to spirits, to the divine, to yourself and your intuition. So you are really the type of person who is meant to hear, who is meant to receive, and then relay where it matters. And by relay where it matters, I mean using the information that is useful and filtering the rest out. In the temple of Lapis Lazuli, in the goddess of the ancient skies, understand that this is your crystal, the lapis lazuli. If you're looking to wear a specific crystal or add a specific one to your collection, blue stones, but a royal blue one like the lapis lazuli will bring you the patience as well as the energetic kind of frequency to be able to simply listen, take in, and become the best version of yourself, because you are an artist at heart who takes in information and then makes something unique out of it. And I also want you to know here within the temple of Lapis Lazuli that listening might be challenging for you specifically because you're knowledgeable and intelligent, and you really need someone who can challenge you on a mental level as well. And eat your words, understand here that being impulsive and sometimes a little too quick to speak up is something that leaves the Seth sign of the zodiac, of the Egyptian zodiac, to sometimes regret what they said. So be very wary and careful of what you say, and know that once you say something, it cannot be unsaid. But once you have learned to master that, you are on the safe side of becoming the most successful version of yourself. And remind yourself that the whole keeping it real thing is not real. If we were to all keep it real, I think a lot of us wouldn't have a job, a lot of us wouldn't have many friends or family. We need to sometimes keep it tactful. Keep it real at the right time. Of course, you want to share your feelings and share what you truthfully think, but timing is important. Timing, I would say, in many occasions is everything, because there is a right time to tell a spouse or romantic partner that you feel like the relationship could improve when it comes to conflict resolution or communication. And that time is when they're receptive, relaxed, maybe they're just chilling, they've had a pretty good day, rather than if they're already stressed out with a million other things and the response that you're going to get is maybe screaming, is maybe disappointment, and just the next fight brewing. So remind yourself that timing is everything when it comes to your words. And the Eight of Blades shows here that for Seth, this often also means that you have to keep certain things on the back seat until people are ready to digest. You're a very quick sign. You're the type of sign that can process very quickly, the type of sign of the Egyptian zodiac who is very witty and intelligent. And quite frankly speaking, a lot of signs just cannot keep up with you. It's not that they don't want to. Yes, it does make you often very frustrated because you're asking yourself why everybody is so slow and why everything has to take so long. But remind yourself that this is just kind of a blessing in disguise, that you are so quick, so witty, so fast, sharp, and intelligent, and other people may sometimes struggle to follow, which is why it is important for you to sometimes shift the gears a notch down just for others to be able to even keep up with the pace. Next up within the tortoise, speaking of pace, right, and kind of calming things down, shifting some gears downwards, slowing down, know here that you're a little fragmented, so do whatever it takes to get grounded. Because you often work and run at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you are shape-shifting, multitasking, or at least so you think, because multitasking, if you do the research, that it's actually just switching between multiple tasks at once, right? Because your brain cannot cut itself in half and do two things at the same time or multiple things at the same time. It's an illusion. But sometimes life does feel like multitasking, right? So do you know here within the tortoise, if we take this multitasking as switching between a lot of different tasks at once, you are being called to focus on fewer tasks during the same span of time where you would usually maybe focus on 10 tasks. Try to focus on 3, but do those extraordinarily well and put your heart and soul into it. Enjoy it. Make it a moment. Make it an experience. Whether that is spending time with your friends and family on your task list, maybe completing some sort of paperwork or emailing something that is very important, or it could also be applying to a new job or seeing whether you are able to purchase a home or vehicle. Know here within the tortoise that taking your time is how you make sure that you end up with the most favorable outcome for yourself. So all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Seth, this is part 1 of your reading that I received for you, and we will now seamlessly transition into the second part. There are no timestamps for you to click. Just know that I'll be right back with you in just a second. Hello, my beautiful Seth babies. Let's continue more deeply into your reading. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. So first we've got the 7 of Cups and the Tower. It's decision time. You've got lots of different choices you can make. The most important decision you will make is who you keep around you, especially romantically speaking. And I want you to know here that picking a partner that isn't supportive of your goals, dreams, and aspirations is going to make you feel a lot of regret, a lot more than you ever thought possible. So if you're right now in a situationship or have any relationship in your life that is unsatisfying, that makes you feel like is not really valuing you, it's time for this person to go. I want you to know here in the 4 of Crystals that for the Egyptian sign of Seth, it is either steady and supportive relationships that are grounded or nothing. There is no in between. There is no playing games. There is no, oh, well, maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll get better. Maybe this is just how they are at the beginning. They're just protecting themselves. No, my beautiful Seth babies, you are worthy of so much more than you have settled for in the past, and your guides are kind of calling you out for it. In the Eye of Horus, know here that you are awakening to divine perception, meaning you are awakening to some of your psychic abilities that you never saw or knew were there. Know here within the Eye of Horus that your psychic ability, something I'm getting is clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. I want you to know that seeing things, hearing things, feeling the divine, these are all skills that are like muscles. You can train them, you can make them stronger. In Life Restored, understand that once you learn to strengthen your psychic gifts and abilities, you will find like it's almost like a completely new life and existence that you didn't even know was possible, because now all of a sudden you can use your gifts to guide you to navigate life and relationships, and also to know who is worth fighting for and who isn't. As harsh as it sounds, there are certain people and relationships that are probably not worth fighting for. That's what I'm hearing here from your guides. Walk away. Don't allow them to string you along. Don't fight for someone who isn't fighting back for the relationship just as much as you're fighting for it. Steer clear of that. Within goal setting, if you've got a goal of what you want your relationships or your life to look like, make sure that you only attach to what is in line with that. Make sure that you only surround yourself with people who have the same growth mindset. You do not need a set of friends who have the same goal as you do, but they need to be goal oriented. They have to be goal getters, goal setters, and that is what you are being called to surround yourself with. If needed, try to go to local entrepreneurial get-togethers. If you don't have any contacts right now that resonate with you when it comes to being driven, you can get to know new people, because the type of people who've got big goals, they don't mind making new friends at later stages in life. So know that your tribe is still out there. All of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Seth, I would like to thank you for being here and spending this divine time and space with me. Let me know below in the comment section that you're a Seth baby baby by leaving a little goal emoji below in the comment section. That way you'll let me and others know that you belong to this Egyptian zodiac sign. And furthermore, if you're interested in my tarot and oracle cards, the link to my website is below. All of my self-published decks ship worldwide, and you can even get free shipping if you purchase multiple decks, as well as a free surprise crystal within your package. So my beautiful babies under the sign of Seth, I'm sending you so much love and limitless hugs, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Bastet. So I will get straight into your reading. I've got my cards laid out before me and my viewfinder over here. In case I look over, you know why. I'm trying to make sure everything is in focus for you. So let's get straight into your Egyptian zodiac signs reading. First up, we've got Knot of Isis. I can see here that what comes for you next is a lot of stabilization. As the sign Bastet, you are a sign that likes to have a good time, but sometimes this also means that you can procrastinate your work and your responsibilities to the degree that you know certain things need to be done in order for you to rest at ease and at peace. Because of course, when your to-do list is growing and you've got stuff piling up that needs to be dealt with, of course it is much more challenging to relax and find a focal point, find your center. Next up, we've got the Temple of Black Obsidian, the dark healing chamber. Know here that sometimes not all that glitters is gold, and shadow work is especially important for all of you born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Bastet. That means journaling and answering questions that you don't necessarily want to confront, face, or even deal with. Also know here within the Temple of Black Obsidian that Black Obsidian is your stone. It is a very favorable crystal for you to deal with and for you to use, wear, and just overall have as part of your life. Put Black Obsidian next to your bedside or in your bedside table, under your pillow, in order to protect you from negative vibes and any type of drama. Because if there's one thing about the Egyptian zodiac sign Bastet, that is that you steer clear of drama. When people are trying to argue and have any type of unnecessary petty fights, you are out the window, you are nowhere to be found. In Cry for the Moon, I also see here that when it comes to your intuition, there is a huge part of you that feels as though you are so deeply connected to the moon or to other planets, almost like you don't belong on planet Earth, like you just have a little bit of this extraterrestrial vibe to you, this vibe that nobody really gets, nobody seems to really understand. And sometimes it just feels like you are a starseed, like you're from a distant planet or a galaxy, and like you are alone on this world, like nobody really gets it. And that's where we've got Cry for the Moon. It's almost like this cry for the extraterrestrial family that you have yet to meet, or that have yet to pick you up here from planet Earth and bring you to a place where you feel more content and you feel like you belong. Here within the Ten of Blades, your mysterious nature definitely also comes with you needing space for yourself. You're an introvert at heart, and people need to understand that this comes with boundaries and limitations. You don't want to talk all day. You need some space and peace and time to do the things that you want to do. You definitely are not one to support clingy friendships and relationships. And I see here within the Nine of Cups that you've also got amazing fortune, which is most likely because you are in line with yourself and you don't allow for too many people to come into your space and aura and mess with your frequency. The Nine of Cups is also known as the wish card of the tarot. So it's a card that shows that manifestations are coming to life. So for all my gorgeous babies within the Egyptian zodiac sign of Bastet, definitely know here that your manifestations are more powerful than you've given them credit for up until this point. Now, this is the first part of your reading that I've received for you. You don't need to do anything right now. We will switch seamlessly to part 2, so I'll speak to you in just a moment's time. Hello, all of my beautiful Bastet babies. Let's move more deeply into your reading, shall we? I hope that you've been enjoying this video. Wow, in the Ten of Cups, I can see that Bastet is meant to be that sign of the Egyptian zodiac, which will enjoy the longest lasting, most pure relationships and marriages of the entire Egyptian zodiac. So congratulations to that, and look forward in the Ten of Cups to ultimate fulfillment when it comes to your love life and your intimate relationships. I see here in the Ten of Cups that because you're focused on the relationship, on the quality of the person that you're with, rather than on their status or how much they earn or what they can do for you financially. This true love is meant to last an eternity. Wow, next up we've got the Lovers. I mean, this is really meant to be. Your guides are here speaking to you. It's like Bastet is right here telling you precisely everything you need to hear about yourself. The Lovers reiterates this true love and lasting love, loyalty, respect, and you being like that couple's goal person that everybody wants to be, you and your either current partner or soon to be partner. So definitely understand in the Ten of Cups and the Lovers that you are destined to have a very fulfilled romantic life, even if it doesn't seem that way just yet or doesn't always seem that way. Things will move a lot faster than you expected. That's what the Eight of Crystals represents, very quick movement. So you're not going to expect, if you're single right now, that you will meet your person and it will catch you completely off guard when you meet your person. And if you've already met the right person for you, then please confirm this in the comment section that you were completely caught off guard and that it was a relationship that developed an incredible amount of depth a lot faster than you expected or than you even thought possible. So know here that when it comes to your happiness, it's going to be quick, deep, and from then on out, long lasting. Now, next up within the Two of Air, we've got this duality, this acceptance of your dark side, your shadow side, and your light side. And that is what you need to thrive. You need a partner, family, friends, and acquaintances who accept every part of you and allow every part to thrive, even if you've got a part to yourself that is semi-destructive. I see here within intuition that sometimes you can be a little destructive and self-deprecating, but you also know kind of when to stop it, when to quit it, when it's too much. And when you have had your 15 minutes of sorrow or 15 minutes of being a little sad for yourself. Next up, we've got heaven and earth. So know here within the number 11, you've got this divine connection going for you of heaven and earth, this connection that is inexplicable, where animals flock towards you and often feels a lot more comfortable around you than around other human beings. I also want you to know that this connection that you have to earth is something that gives you a feeling of living in heaven sometimes, because you ask yourself how life could get any better, because you are meant to just have such a deeply fulfilled existence. And the Nine of Water is again a highly favorable card. I mean, Bastet, there is no way to make this up. Your reading just shows that your Egyptian zodiac sign is literally God's favorite, is literally the universe's favorite, whichever that you choose. Maybe you choose none of those. Whichever belief system that you're in, maybe you've also switched in the past, which I don't want you to feel ashamed of. I just want you to know here that everyone is welcome, no matter what part of their journey that they're on to finding themselves and to finding their belief system. Know here within the Nine of Water that you are going to manifest everything you've ever dreamt of, especially in your personal life, your private life, your love life, and you will have this happily ever after story with a very special person. So my beautiful signs of Bastet, thank you for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. Leave a little home emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are here and that you're excited to build a home and a life with someone. Furthermore, if you're interested in my self-published tarot cards and oracle decks, like some of the cards you see here from the dark Dark Heart Tarot deck. And if this reading really resonated with you and you would like to have these cards for yourself, it comes with a guidebook that I've written so you can lay the cards for yourself, read all of the meanings, and learn a little bit of tarot. Everything ships straight from Switzerland to wherever you are in this world, and I also offer free shipping if you purchase multiple decks in one go. Now, my beautiful signs of Bastet, I'm sending you so much love, unlimited hugs, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Sekhmeth. We will get straight into your reading. I have got my cards laid out in front of me, and my viewfinder is over here in case I look over. Just know I'm trying to make sure everything stays in focus. But now all you need to do after figuring out your Egyptian zodiac sign is to lean back and enjoy your reading. If you want to learn more about your sign, Sekhmeth in particular, know that simultaneously to publishing this video, I have also published another video on my channel that goes through each sign in great detail, so you can learn more about yourself through this Egyptian astrology. First up, we've got Wings of Isis, uniting with the angelic self. So I definitely want you to understand here that you are a lot more loved and favored than you think and have ever given yourself credit for. With Wings of Isis, know that you are divinely supported, all of my souls born under the sign of Sekhmeth. And while it may often seem like you are all over the place, like you have so many things to do, and you are the type of person who has a lot of responsibility on their plate, I want you to know that with that also comes a lot of freedom. Your sign is said to be very successful when it comes to entrepreneurial ventures, and also being a success when it comes to projects in 9-to-5s that can catapult you to higher levels of management and just higher roles with more responsibility, but also, of course, more financial rewards. Next up, we've got All Aboard. I want you to know that you've got a very persuasive personality that allows you to ensure that everybody who you need as a teammate is fully aboard and believes in whatever vision it is that you are trying to make a reality. So it makes a lot of sense as to why you're really great at climbing the ladder corporately or making your own entrepreneurial ventures a success. You've just got this air to you, this vibe, this energy that is infectious and that makes a lot of people feel like if this person is on board, if this person under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Sekhmet is on board with this, then so am I. So I want you to know here that with that not only comes a lot of power, but of course the responsibility to not lead people astray too much either. So it's important that you focus on doing the best that you can. Just be a positive force on this planet to make sure that what you're doing is for the good of everyone, for the good of the community. Know here within the sun, which is actually one of the most favorable signs, that this brings warmth, joy, closeness, love, togetherness. And the sun is definitely symbolic of you being a very generous spirit at heart. And for generous souls such as yourself, it is also imperative that you're aware of this and that you protect yourself to a certain extent. Next up, within the Three of Pentacles, and know here that any kind of opportunity to work with others is where you thrive. You've got kind of like a dual personality, and this dual personality means that you've got different facets. For one, you can be kind of the chill friend, and on the other hand, when you have to switch and be the boss, you can do so pretty seamlessly and effortlessly without it seeming strange or fake. So people can have a chill relationship with you even though you're their boss, and at the same time you don't lose that air and that energy of authority that makes people do their job the way that they should and respect you as well. So definitely understand here within the Three of Pentacles that teamwork makes the dream work, and you've got some big dreams. In order to get there, you will need to build a team. You will need to work with others. However, this is just the first part of your reading. I'm now going to delve even more deeply into your prediction based on your Egyptian zodiac sign, so just hold tight. There are no more timestamps for you to click. We'll segue seamlessly into the next part of your reading. Hello, all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Sekhmeth. Let's move more deeply into your reading, shall we? First up, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. This shows great fortune when it comes to your financial standpoint and your professional life. So know here that for your Egyptian zodiac sign, you're meant to be powerful and successful, and you will always kind of have a heads up because your intuition, which is what dogs stand for, your instinct and intuition, will always help guide you to make the right decision and to instinctively know when to stay away from a bad deal. Furthermore, you are also wise beyond your years. You are ahead of your age at all times, and no matter what friend group you're in, people are always able to take some little nuggets of advice from you that help them greatly within their careers. Now, the Two of Pentacles shows that there is some enmeshing going on, and you're being called to kind of keep your personal life and your work life separate from each other in order to maintain balance. Now, my beautiful babies of Sekhmeth, you are a sign that symbolizes the goddess of war and healing. So having this duality, this almost split personality, is very normal for you to be able to switch on work mode when necessary and switch it off once you're with friends and family. But sometimes it's good to really just kind of turn off your internet so you're not receiving any emails, to really put your phone aside so you can focus on new fun ventures and on growing. At the end of the day, you're meant to grow and evolve, and the Ace of Pentacles shows that there are new opportunities when it comes to business, like starting and growing and becoming successful with your own YouTube channel as an example, or your own blog, your own e-commerce store. Know here within the Ace of Pentacles that all of this is possible when you shut off and when you kind of create some boundaries between the existing work that you have and also having free time and a personal life. If you fail to do so, if you don't do so, then of course you will have a very, very challenging time being able to find time for these new ventures. Next up within the journey, be aware of the fact that when it comes to journeying, moving forward, creating the life that you desire, there will always be a lot of different paths that you can take in a lot of different ways. Some paths look a little easier, but later down the line you may find that they're actually more challenging, while other tasks may look more grueling at first, and then when you do it, you're like, that's it? That's what I was procrastinating and so worried about? So know that not everything is always as it seems on this journey through life that we're all on together, and understand here within the King of Water that you've got what it takes, the intuition, you've got the intelligence, you've also got this thing called emotional intelligence, which is a form of intelligence that school doesn't teach us, nor does school even check whether we're emotionally intelligent or help us to improve it. And this is a very important type of intelligence to help you foster healthy relationships and become successful. Next up, we've got the bottlenose dolphin. This is a great time for you to socialize and celebrate life. If you're receiving this reading and you haven't been out in a while, or you've been saying no to get-togethers and parties because somehow, somewhere you feel like you don't deserve it, or you feel like you shouldn't be taking all of this time off, know that it is okay to party and have fun. You deserve it. You've worked hard. In the blue shark, know here that still serendipity is coming your way. You don't have to work your tail off to be successful. You don't have to work yourself to the bone all the time in order for success to come your way. There is just serendipity that's meant to be for you. There are amazing things that are just meant to happen for you, regardless of whether you're taking time off or you're working day and night. And enjoy these things. Don't always feel guilty for all of the good that comes your way, or feel as though you didn't do enough to earn it or deserve it. The Hierophant is representative of giving yourself credit where credit is due, of allowing yourself to enjoy life, and also reminding yourself here in the Hierophant that you've been disciplined for a long time. You've done things that other people are not able to do or cope with, okay? So know that sometimes it's also your time to lean back, relax, and enjoy. This can be hard if you're a parent or if you're a business owner. Contrary to what you've probably heard in the past, it is in fact now time for you to rest on some of your laurels. You've earned it and you deserve it. So all of my beautiful babies born under the Egyptian zodiac sign of Sekhmeth, I really hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section by leaving a shark emoji below. That way you'll let me and others know that you belong to this Egyptian zodiac sign. Furthermore, my tarot decks and oracle decks can be found below in the description box as well. They all ship straight from my HQ here in Switzerland. I also offer free shipping when you purchase multiple decks, as well as a free crystal gift that comes with it. So I'd like to thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings.